Hello, everyone. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live today. The topic is going to be a great one. It's called Customer Success in Challenging Markets. I'm Jim Tantaro, CEO of ScaleWith, and with me is my colleague from many, many years, Reena Bhatia. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me. I'm Reena Bhatia. I'm head of our customer success at Asana for Americas. Jim and I worked together for years on the sales side. So I have had 10 plus years experience on the sales side running value teams. And we worked together on running innovation teams at Salesforce, and then have moved over between strategy and now into running customer success here. And I love customer success. I'm like all about how we think about our customers.
I love it. Let's get into it, Reena. So we have 30 minutes. We have a great audience, and then we're going to field questions in real time. So let's start out with, I think, a topic, the first question, which is you and I started way back in the day at Salesforce when customer success was just in its infancy. I remember those days. So I have fond memories of how that motion of customer success evolved over time in our tenure there. But what are you seeing as like the transformational moments of customer success and where we're at today? How is it transformed from that one-to-many kind of offline way of serving your customer to today?
Yeah, I mean, customer success evolved from the idea that with SaaS software, you have a repeatable revenue stream, and someone needs to take care of that customer because you're no longer shipping something and it's just sitting with them. They have a choice. Customers have a choice every year or every month to decide to renew with you. And so when in the infancies of SaaS software, there was that realization that, well, we need to understand what's going on with the customers to have this revenue source be an ongoing revenue source versus a one-time revenue source. And the evolution of that, and Salesforce started with this idea of customers for life. Mm-hmm. And now we're kind of moving away from that. Everyone loves a customer for life, and we want to keep our customers for life. Yeah. We also don't want to ignore them and just assume that they're going to be there. So a big part of the evolution of customer success is how do we get to as many customers as possible? How do we help them with what they want to know? How do we move away from a one-to-one model with one customer and one customer success manager, or one customer success manager that has a book, but really thinking strategically about that book and the investment we need to make in customer success as a company?
Yeah, that's good. Well, one of the things when we were doing our prep was the market volatility, which is kind of like the premise of this. And we know how hard it is to serve customers, make sure they're successful, make sure they're using the products and integrating them in to the flow of work. Do you see the macro environment that we operate in SaaS today? Do you see it as challenging or?
Oh, yeah. It's tough. It's tough because there was moments during, the pandemic and post-pandemic where people had either the cash to spend or the teams were deciding on what they wanted to buy. And now, there has been an idea of consolidation at the IT level, right? And they might not even be your buyers either. And so really proving the value to people who are not familiar with the platform, who are the buyers of the platform that are trying to consolidate, kind of pushes you back to really understanding how do you integrate with the things that are really important to that customer. So what does that IT tech stack look like, and how are you a part of that IT tech stack? How do you provide value to not only your end consumer, but also to the company? Yeah. And so all those conversations need to shift into a value conversation that's not just a point in time to those people using the platform. So if they're using Asana, but how do we help the whole company be better because that team or multiple teams are collaborating across using Asana.
Yeah. No, good point. So I was watching a future of work event yesterday over my lunch, and every conversation, every moderation of the topics revolved around AI and data. So I have to bring it into this mix because it is important. And we talked about this. We talk about this a lot, you and I. Like, how is AI it's not transforming customer success, but how is it integrated into your day-to-day, your team's day-to-day, and your interaction with customers?
Oh, yeah, I fully expect it to transform customer success. I fully expect that what we do with AI is going to help us drive more and more in the future. And I think part of it is this is the day-to-day that we need to incorporate into the work that we do that can help like alleviate some of the work. Like the current state is, how do I help alleviate some of the work that the customer success team is doing and have the AI, especially being at Asana, I have an advantage. All of our work is done in Asana. So when I go ask AI, like, hey, can you give me an exec summary for our CMO that might be going to meet a customer, our AI capabilities allow us to take the summary of all the work that's being done in a really short amount of time, where it would have taken a customer success manager maybe 2 hours to really comb through everything that's happening and give a succinct update. It's maybe a 15-20 minute review of what AI put in and adjusting that so it actually makes a little more sense. But it is really, those types of things are going to help take some time off. Now in the future, how can we help? I'm asking my teams, how might we help take some of the day-to-day problems that we're seeing with our customers and have that presented to them so that there's a bit of a AI teammate, a customer success AI teammate. And so those are ideas as we keep going that will evolve. So I equate it to like the mobile phone. 9 years ago, we were doing like mobile pitches.
Oh yeah.
Right. What's the value of moving on to mobile? Today it's a given. It's a given that you have a mobile. You don't even include it into your pitch. And I assume in the next few years, AI is going to be woven into the thread of what we do. And then we're just at the beginning.
Yeah. Don't you remember when we used to present big transformational solutions? It always have the mobile device. Well, our platform, and we've been getting, you've been getting familiar with ScaleWith and what we do. I love the fact that we have such a treasure trove of our own proprietary data that's all around social impact. And then we plug into many different third parties. So our AI is not only pulling all this information back in our platform, but it's surfacing recommendations. And what our customers are asking for is, do you know my early warning signals of when we're not engaging with, your platform, engaging with how to integrate into our flow of work? So we're starting to build internally here our own early warning system, like we used to have at Salesforce, where you could see adoption and metadata, adoption, utilization, logins. But we also use all of our rich data on what those customers care about, where they're engaging, what they're saying in the open market, what they're talking to their shareholders about. So it becomes not only the utilization of the product, but what they're talking about out there and what they're doing and leading with their actions. And we put that into the way that we engage our customers in their evolution of the platform.
Yeah.
And, what we also do too is we also take their feedback directly and embed it because they own the roadmap of our platform.
That's amazing. Yeah. Data is something it needs to be woven into CS. It is on an everyday basis. What is the health of our customers? And that actually evolves as we look at how our customers are using the platform. Where do we think, the evolution of even AI added into the platform as we talked about it.
Yeah.
We've been talking lately about what data shows us that AI is being used properly or not,
Yeah.
So I think that evolution of data is so important.
Isn't it? And you've always been committed to data.
I'm a data geek.
Exactly. You and I, exactly. We come from different superpowers, but data, is that how you run the organization? Are you always looking at certain dials of the business to ensure,
100%. Yeah. we, run the gamut from with our scaled CS team. We are looking at how do we get to as many customers as possible in our scaled book of business to be able to get to the best engagements that they need at the right time. So for an example of using data there is if we can pinpoint what the customer issue is, we get to that issue faster than one call, right? Like if we can answer the issue in one call based on understanding the data up till then, we're going to be better off with that customer than to take multiple discovery calls and then prep and then get there. So that's like one example. We look at our renewal data. We're trying to predict whether churn might occur. How can we help that? And then we're also looking at patterns of things that happened in the past so that we can repeat the good stuff and avoid the things that are not working out.
Yeah. Let me build on the renewal aspect, because that's what the 3 use cases we see so much in our customers when I'm out there talking to customers or I'm on sales meetings. It's one use case is marketing around using our platform to drive higher ROI marketing. Second is, how do I embed this in my selling motion and differentiate the way I connect with my customers in new ways? The third way is the use case around renewals. As someone that has been in and out of the managing large, budgets of renewals and available to renewals for many, many years, our customers are seeking new ways to engage especially their top spend categories, new ways to engage those customers proactively with differentiating either conversations or value propositions. So our customers want to have this data and our AI recommendations of where social impact could be part of the renewal, not only strategy, but the renewal contract, Reena, where they're moving dollars around and differentiating that, that contract to ultimately reduce churn. But what do you think from a renewal standpoint? How do you guys approach it, or what are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, renewals is tough business, right?
Yeah.
If it, I was actually just saying this yesterday. If we do everything right, we get to the renewal moment, and it's actually a celebration with the customer, saying, "Yeah, we're gonna recommit today."
Yeah.
And everything of value that we've seen, and we have some great renewals, and it's really fun. But then there's also, hey, are we using this, and how are we using this, and where's the value coming in? And are we having the conversation with any of the users or really procurement? So we're using a lot of the data walking into the renewal to understand our customers and to show them an ability to understand them, whether we've had a CSM on that account or not a CSM on the account. It's not an excuse not to know the customer.
Yeah.
So usually walking in, we look at our renewals, 90 days in advance, 120 days in advance if they're really big. And we're really thinking about the strategy of these accounts and how we can create a better value story for them.
Yeah. Working on big renewals, trying to land them and at the current spend or increased spend, I always thought it was like a sales cycle where you have all the resources, you have all these people that need to come together to strategize. But at the end of the day, you need to have the deep insights into the customer, the interactions, what they care about, how they've used the product, and externally what they care about. And that's why I always think that, from a ScaleWith standpoint, our data is like the secret sauce of the user.
And data is so important. Like you talk about the external, the internal. We have to gather, because a renewal is not only on the renewal manager.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like a big part of it's. Everyone's like, oh, everyone's involved in the customer. Everybody's responsible for customer success. But when it comes down to it, and there's a number, and it's churning or it's growing, it's like one side of the coin or another. That's a revenue, event.
Yeah.
But you have to pull in there's just a myriad of information you're pulling in. And I think the old way of doing it is you go talk to everybody who's had any interaction. Maybe you might be the product person that has had an interaction. Yeah. You buy, reports online from those companies that do reviews of the companies.
Right.
Now you're right. The integrated data sources allow you to get a better holistic view of your customer in a quicker amount of time.
Oh
So you
yeah.
can handle more customers at a renewal.
Yeah, no, it is like I always, it's such a complicated, that is to me and I always learned from when I was working with the PE firm that owned the last company I was at, which is, think about it, you shed $10 million in attrition. How hard is it to make up that net new ACV? So hard to find it. Oh, you got the lights.
My lights came out, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So one of the things too is like, and this is for everybody, I think that's joined and listens to the recording, which is there are so many different techniques or tactics and tools that we've all used. The QBR, the success plan. Oh my God. At scale ways of putting people on marketing journeys, because you can't have it's that scale motion. What are like some of the core things that you guys use in your day-to-day, like techniques or tools that you're finding really successful in making sure customers are success?
Yeah, we obviously Asana is a big tool for us.
Yeah.
I really that's why I'm excited about working here, because if we use our stuff, that's the most important thing, right? And that's a great collaboration point across what is going on in an account and the historical value that we get of working within one spot. And especially at the management level, I'm able to watch when, we have an at-risk board. If somebody puts something in an at-risk board, that comes in and really, it allows me to pay attention to things, but not necessarily have to dive in and talk to every single CSM out there. And from an external tool perspective, we use Chorus, which is a recording. So we record the calls, but I think there's a lot of tools out there that record calls, and that's actually been a change in the industry where you have the access to call recording and AI scripts from that.
Yep.
I think that's been huge because
we use a similar tool. AI, it's great.
Because there's something about hearing from the customer and not putting 15 people in the customer meeting, which is really valuable.
Yeah.
So that's to me is one of my favorite tools, is to have something in there that gives me insight into what's happening at the customer level. And then we have a scale team that really thinks through the data pieces of it. So they look at the data, they use marketing tools to outreach to customers.
Yep.
They work with, they work to go, internally work really closely with the sales teams to get up to speed, because they're not on one account.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to make sure that we can get to as many customers as possible, because that's our goal, is to have the conversation to get them to the answer to what they need,
Yeah. What we're seeing when we're working with one customer right now, we have a service called blueprinting, where you're kind of bringing them on board. And when they implement the platform, we get them off and running with their use cases. And the one use case, they still believe in success plans, which I don't think are dead. I think
they're not dead. No. Success plans are definitely,
as long as they're not sitting in some Word doc on someone's hard drive. But they use Slack, and they want to build the success plan, but they want to use not only utilization adoption KPIs and some business value ROIs that they worked up, but they also want to use our platform embedded in their success plans. So as an element of when their CSMs go and do their quarterly or monthly reviews, they're talking about all those, but then they're talking about business strategy and also what the company, that they're learning, that they're doing out there around sustainability was the core one that kept on coming up. So I just think it's another unique element how you guys use tools. We use our own tool for our customers' success plans.
That's amazing. I think it's success plans, and we do business reviews with our customers on a quarterly basis or biannual basis. But I think that's an important consistency. I think it's a consistency of what the customer values and how do we help them see what they're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we got 10 minutes. If there's any questions, pop them in to the chat. But okay, we talked AI. That's always the future. But I love following Nick Mehta from
Yeah.
Vin. I always think he
That's
has the
amazing.
greatest LinkedIn posts. It's like he starts with like Taylor Swift always, which is cool. I like
Which
Taylor
is
Swift.
so cool. I'm a
It's so
Swiftie.
cool. But he's always he's always thinking and innovating, in what he's bringing to the forefront in those posts. Is there something outside of AI, or maybe it is AI, that's what you see the future of this area of customer success and renewals?
Yeah. Well, one, I don't think anything's outside of AI.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I know that it sounds far-fetched, but when you can see the things that are happening, I think it's just integrated and woven over time
yeah,
into making us, better and giving us better insights and reducing the amount of time we spend on some of these things that we're working on. I think that gives us space to think more deeply about our customers. And so I would expect that customers get a better engagement level because we have a richer understanding of them walking in. We're not starting off with a discovery call. We're really getting a lot more information from all sorts of places.
yeah.
And AI is going to help us drive those type of rich conversations where we want to be. So I think that's one big thing of like future.
Yeah.
I think as we think about specialization and really having better conversations, I spent a couple of years in industries running industry strategy. I was at Salesforce.
Yep.
I really truly believe in industry solutions, and really the cohort of customers, the type of customers that you are working with should be similar or learning from, or an industry that you actually care about that's not your industry. So
Yeah.
either you're a healthcare company and you really want to learn about what other customers are doing around patients and patient care, and that patient care and the future of patient care really matters to you. And it might not matter to you what Netflix is doing, or you want to learn from Netflix because you're on that innovation path.
Yeah.
But really that I think is also continuously part of the future. I think it's something that we've started to crack, but I think it'll continue to go down that path.
Yeah, we are investing heavily in our AI roadmap. So like we're doubling, tripling down on it. And we actually are partnering with an amazing company out there to accelerate our innovation called Wayfound.ai with Tatiana Mahmood, who was the ex-chief product officer at Salesforce back in the day. And I think the future, so I'll throw this out there, it might be a little bit controversial, but like AI workers. I know the conversation's out there, and everybody's exploring how an AI agent is embedded as a teammate or.
At Asana, we've launched AI teammates. So
okay.
As much as you think it's controversial, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing with the platform that we have, it's where the work happens. And so the AI is in, but this is where I'm saying it's a teammate in a way that it takes some of the work off your plates, or it gives you intelligence in a way to have a richer conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a narrative out there that AI is going to completely, like, it's not going to replace jobs in the sense that the knowledge is going to be really important, and how we address might be different over time. We all need to evolve with that. But there have been productivity tools in the past. I think this is just going to be a more accelerated productivity tool.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a question that came in.
Yeah.
How can sales and success work together more effectively?
Love this question.
Oh my God, great question. Go for it.
Because I think, Jim, you and I are sales. Like, I always think of my DNA as half sales, half success,
Exactly.
and somewhere in between strategy.
Yep.
So I'm always thinking about how do we work together, because the renewal event is a sales event. I work very closely with my sales counterparts. In fact, I was in a planning meeting earlier today on how do we think about, account plans and what are the right things we need to be looking at. I think that partnership only gets better with more richer data.
I agree. And I think from a ScaleWith standpoint, that's why we look at the unaware to loyalty journey. So the question is a great one because we always say our use cases are foundational from unaware marketing to winning the deal and securing the loyalty of the customer to want to renew and spend more. That's how our customers see our platform. So as you can see, sales and success, I always think are complete business partners in that journey for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the customer is the center of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we have, okay, let me read this. Love the way AI is seamlessly integrated into the flow of work. I'm less worried about losing my job to AI. I think it makes me better at my job 100%.
Yeah.
I go back to what I was saying about AI workers. It's been, if anybody's following the topic on LinkedIn, and it was on this future of AI event that was on yesterday, it is making us all better. I mean, I use it every minute of every day. And so I do kind of have an AI worker with me. I don't, I write my communications with it. I do my ROI analysis with it. I do my sales, preparation.
Yeah, I'm starting to come up at the end of the quarter. My goals at the end of the quarter will be, I will start with the AI bot to pull in what happened in the last half of the year or the first half of the year. I mean, can you imagine how much time it takes to comb through everything that happened in the last, 6 months? And how do I pull that together as a first half wrap up?
Yeah.
This is game changing.
Well, yesterday I met with a global pharma company and the head of marketing, a great company, and just learning. It was like our second meeting with them. And they were sort of a chat GPT user, but they saw our co-pilot as a way to help them build better campaigns, write the communication strategy, and actually create the visualization that needed to go with the campaign. So it's like, but they said, you know what the time to do all that internally was to run one ABM? 2 months from approval to submit the request to the approval to get everything, because it's a regulated industry, approved and written and every coordination. And we said without the approvals, this could probably take 4 days, end to end instead of 2 months using our platform. So they're like, okay, now we have to, we're in a pilot with them, so they're going to see it in real life. But
what I'm excited about is like when we take some of that stuff off the table, then what would it create space for us to do in the future? And I think those things we don't even know yet, of the things that either are on our wish list, but we feel like that's so far away that we don't ever have time to do them.
Yeah.
Or there are things that we're going to evolve the type of conversations we're having.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely agree. I don't think it's taking away our jobs. I think it is really going to enhance the work that we do.
I agree. And I look at AI as if I'm a CIO or an IT organization, I'm starting to rethink kind of my enterprise architecture strategy of where AI is complementing, integrating, and obsoleting things in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it brings a lot of innovation to the forefront for sure. So I don't know if there's any other. I don't see
any other questions out there.
No, we're almost at 30 minutes, but these are good. We try to keep them bite sized because people people want to move on. This is awesome. Well, I hope everybody, if there's no other questions, I hope everybody found this valuable. The insights of kind of from Reena's perspective, my perspective with ScaleWith, and we do these on a recurring basis. As a marketer, I'd like to throw out how proactive I could be to support customer success. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great one last question. It's like, I think marketing and success, don't you think, Reena?
I work very closely. And there's a couple of ways that we work very closely with our marketing team. Real quickly, we work with a lifecycle marketing team as we think about the lifecycle of the customer and how we think of messages that work with them. And if we can even preempt how value gets to the customer through the marketing campaigns, that's even better. And we also work with ABM. So you think about account-based marketing. When you're going to a customer, what better person to bring along with your customer success manager? And
Yeah. And
huge amounts of marketing overlap.
And you should be using the marketing platforms that you have to put, high risk customers on journeys to start to engage them in a, way more proactive ways. So, well, we're at 30 minutes. Thanks, Reena. I know you're busy, but this is great. And we do these on a weekly basis. We do both LinkedIn audios, and we're going to do more of these on a scheduled basis. So we appreciate this. It's a great topic.
No, this is great. I'm always excited to talk to you, Jim. You know that.
That's awesome. I know this gives us an opportunity to connect. So I love it. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate all the time, Reena.
Yeah. Thank you all.